They thought they'd mapped you out. Turns out they were staring at a locked door and calling it a window. Now imagine this for a moment. Chosen one. A room full of people who spent years pretending they knew you, acting like they could read you, predict you, measure you. But the whole time they were working off a cheap, blurry, knock-off version of you. And then one day, without warning, the real you stepped forward like a glitch ripping through their illusion. It was the kind of reveal that shoves silence into a room, the kind of moment that makes their jaw unhook because reality just slapped them harder than karma ever could. And here's the funny part. This wasn't even you trying. This was you existing. You being your actual self for once, instead of the watered-down mask you used to wear to keep the peace. The instant the mask fell, every enemy, every doubter, every loudmouth critic suddenly realized the tiny box they shoved you in was not just wrong, it was embarrassingly small. That's the fact they're choking on right now. Facts don't care about feelings. And the fact is, they underestimated a force of nature because they confused your silence for emptiness. They confused your calm for weakness. They confused your privacy for lack of depth. And now the universe is forcing them to watch the real you in HD clarity, and it hurts their ego like sunlight burns a vampire. And thank you, chosen one. Don't forget to pay this message back by simply pressing like and subscribe to help spread the message to more souls, because it's the responsibility of all of us to spread the light. And thank you, chosen one, for being part of this mission. You're part of a force that hits harder than truth itself. Anyway, back to the real issue, the reveal that made their jaw drop. The part they never expected, the side of you that showed up like a plot twist nobody saw coming. Because let's be honest, you were never simple. You were never basic. You were never the cardboard cutout character they pretended you were. They wrote their own cheap script about you, convinced themselves it was accurate, and now they're dealing with the emotional whiplash of being wrong, painfully wrong. They didn't know you had layers because they never asked. They didn't know you had depth because they only looked at the surface. They didn't know you had a spine made of tempered steel because they mistook your gentleness for fragility. And then life threw you into situations designed to expose your core. The pressure went up. The lights got brighter. The stakes got heavier. And instead of breaking like they predicted, you evolved. You handled conflict with the calm of someone who already knows the end game. You navigated chaos with the precision of someone who's been training in silent rooms long before anyone knew your name. You didn't react like a victim. You responded like a strategist. You didn't fall apart. You folded reality into your favor. You didn't scream for help. You listened to your own inner command. That's the part that destroys them the most. The quiet kid they dismissed turned out to be the storm. The naive one they patronized turned out to be the one carrying wisdom they can't even explain. The one they assumed was weak turned out to have strength they don't have the courage to develop in themselves. You didn't just survive what was supposed to break you. You walked out clearer, colder, more focused, and annoyingly confident. That's why their jaws dragging across the floor. They thought adversity would expose your cracks. Instead, it exposed theirs. And now they're replaying every moment they misread you, every time they doubted you, every time they whispered that you weren't capable, every moment they chuckled behind your back, thinking you'd crumble. They're realizing in real time that the version of you they built in their head was a toy. The real you is a damn weapon, and they never saw it coming. This isn't just a glow-up. It's a reveal, a character switch, a plot twist that forces every enemy to face the uncomfortable truth. You never changed. They just never knew who they were dealing with. You were a locked vault the whole time, chosen one. They just mistook the silence for emptiness instead of power charging up. Welcome to the moment their illusions die. Welcome to the side of you they never expected. And chosen one, don't drift yet. What you just heard was the opening crack in their reality, not the full collapse. The real dissection of why that hidden side of you made their jaw crash to the floor is only beginning. If you're ready to walk deeper into the truth they never expected, drop 77 in the comments, like a quiet declaration of sovereignty. And if you want to keep this mission alive, bless the team with a super thanks. Every gift fuels the force behind these messages. And now we go step by step. If you're truly one of the chosen, you'll feel that magnetic pull to stay until the final word. Let's begin. Number 1. The silent enigma they should have feared sooner. They thought your silence meant safety. Turns out they were sleeping next to a storm with perfect aim. They should have known better, chosen one, but ignorance has a funny way of convincing fools they're safe. They mistook your quiet for emptiness, your stillness for weakness, your distance for irrelevance. They had no clue. They were walking past a mind that records everything, a heart that absorbs everything, and a spirit trained by adversity they couldn't even survive 2 minutes in. And the irony burns them alive now, because the very thing they dismissed is the thing that's haunting them. You were the silent enigma they should have feared sooner, and the regret on their faces is the closest thing to justice you'll ever need. Now, imagine this for a moment. Chosen one, a predator who laughs at a lion cub thinking it's harmless. They see the fluff, the soft eyes, the small frame, and assume it's no threat. But then, years pass, the cub grows fangs, and suddenly, the hunter becomes the hunted. That's what's happening right now. Your evolution didn't just catch them off guard. It exposed their stupidity. It turned their arrogance into a punchline. They weren't dealing with a harmless presence. They were dealing with a mind built like a locked vault and a heart fortified like a kingdom. And here's the part no one tells you. History praises the quiet ones far more than the loud ones. Einstein barely spoke as a child. Nikola Tesla lived in near isolation. Rosa Parks wasn't loud when she changed the world. She was calm, firm, unshakable. Quiet is not weak. Quiet is intentional. Quiet is preparation. Quiet is power assembling itself in the dark, while the noisy ones exhaust their energy trying to be seen. And you, chosen one, walked that exact blueprint without even trying. You were observing while they were performing. You were studying while they were bragging. You were calculating while they were underestimating. And now they don't know whether to apologize to you or fear you. Both would be appropriate. You might be wondering right now, why did they misread me so badly? Why did everyone assume I was harmless? Simple. Most people lack the range to see depth. They judge from the surface because they fear exploring anything deeper than their own insecurities. You were a mirror they didn't know how to read. You didn't overshare. You didn't perform. You didn't beg for validation. And in a world addicted to loudness, your silence registered as nothingness in their tiny minds. But silence isn't empty. Silence is loaded. Silence is focused. Silence is lethal when held by the right person. You didn't bark because you didn't need to. You didn't flaunt because your power wasn't decoration. You didn't announce yourself because real forces never need to explain. While they were laughing, you were learning. While they were gossiping, you were evolving. While they were flexing, you were sharpening. They confused your absence from their drama as lack of ability. But what they didn't realize was that you were training yourself in rooms they didn't even know existed. And now they're finally seeing it. They're replaying every quiet moment of yours, like investigators reviewing surveillance footage. They're wondering how many signs they missed. They're wondering how many times you saw through them while pretending not to. They're wondering how someone so silent ended up mentally and spiritually 10 steps ahead. They're unsettled because you hold the receipts of every moment they doubted you, and now your growth is humiliating their assumptions. You were never the harmless one. You were the one learning everyone's patterns in real time. You were the one noticing tones, observing motives, catching micro-expressions. You were the one keeping records while they kept running their mouth. You were the one storing knowledge like ammunition. And now the universe is letting that truth leak into the open, and they're panicking because they finally feel the weight of everything you've always known, but never said. It's funny, isn't it? How they always think the loudest person in the room is the strongest, when it's almost always the quiet one who has the sharpest mind. Silence terrifies weak people. They can't decode it, can't predict it, can't manipulate it. Silence forces them to confront their own insecurities, and when you stayed silent, they projected their delusions onto you. They wrote stories about who you were without even knowing your first chapter. Now, the plot twist is breaking their ego in half. You see, Chosen One, your hermit mode past wasn't isolation, it was incubation. People forget that diamonds form in silence. Volcanoes erupt after long stillness. Legends train in shadows before stepping into arenas. Your quiet was never hiding. It was strategy. You were becoming something they weren't prepared to handle. And now that you've stepped forward, they're realizing the threat was never your volume. It was your vision. They should have feared your mind. They should have feared your patience. They should have feared your restraint. Anyone can explode. Anyone can react. But it takes a different kind of power to sit quietly, watching everything, remembering everything, understanding everything. That's the power they underestimated. That's the power hitting them in the ribs right now. Some of them are asking themselves, how long has this version of you existed? The answer: the whole time. You just didn't give them access. Not everyone deserves to know the real you. Not everyone earns front row seats to your evolution. And the people who misjudged you are now paying the price of their own laziness. They didn't study you. They didn't look deeper. They didn't try to understand your silence. They just assumed you were small because they needed you to be small. They needed to feel superior. Now they feel stupid. And Chosen One, let that motivate you. Let their shock be your fuel. Let their regret be your reminder. You are not the version they built in their insecure minds. You are the version the universe sculpted through adversity, silence, and discipline. You are the one who hears everything, feels everything, processes everything, and reveals nothing until it's time. And now it's time. This is the moment they realize the quiet one was the dangerous one all along. This is the moment they feel the consequences of their own blindness. This is the moment the silent enigma steps into the light, and every doubter wishes they had seen it sooner. Let their jaw drop, let their confusion rise, let their ego crumble. They didn't fear you before. They will now. Number 2. The moment the mask slipped and their brain short-circuited. All it took was one truth from you, and their entire fantasy version of you died on the spot. That's the moment everything flipped, Chosen One. The moment the mask slipped. The exact second when whatever you said, whatever you did, whatever energy you finally stopped hiding, tore through their illusions like a blade slicing thin paper. They weren't ready. They weren't trained. They weren't mentally fortified for the real version of you to step into the conversation like that. Their brain didn't just pause, it short-circuited. It overloaded. Because the version of you they held in their heads was a toy, and the version standing in front of them was the architect of their reality check. Think of it like this. Imagine someone walking around bragging that they've mastered chess because they beat an 8-year-old once. They flex, they gloat, they feel unstoppable, and then, out of nowhere, they get invited to sit across from a grandmaster. The entire room watches them crumble within 10 moves. That's what these people felt the moment your mask cracked open. They suddenly realized they were dealing with someone who was studying 5 layers deeper than them the whole time. The most brutal part, they didn't even realize you were wearing a mask. You weren't pretending to be someone else. You were just choosing silence over unnecessary explanations. You weren't playing small. You were conserving energy. You weren't dimming your intelligence. You were simply not wasting it on the unworthy. But when you finally spoke from your full power, when you finally made a move with your real mind behind it, they got hit with something they couldn't categorize: intelligence that didn't try to show off, intuition that predicted outcomes before they happened, clarity so sharp it cut the conversation in half. You might be wondering, what exactly did I do that shocked them so badly? It wasn't the action itself, it was the contrast. They thought you were predictable. They thought they knew the limits of your perception. They thought they had a nice little folder labeled "you" in their minds, with all your weaknesses documented. And then you said something so chillingly precise, so unbelievably accurate, so stripped of delusion that their nervous system glitched. They heard truth in a tone they had never heard you use before. Truth that came from someone who wasn't confused, wasn't emotional, wasn't grasping. Truth spoken from power. This is the moment you become unforgettable. And you know who this reminds me of? Bruce Lee. People always underestimated him before seeing him fight. They saw the soft voice, the quiet attitude, the tiny frame. But the moment he moved, the moment his real abilities stepped out, the entire world had to rewrite their assumptions about him. That's what you did. One move from the real you forced them to erase every narrative they had built. The switch wasn't gradual. It didn't take weeks or months. It was instant. One sentence, one decision, one expression, one unexpected level of clarity, and the people around you suddenly realized you weren't confused at all. You were assessing. You weren't passive. You were calculating. You weren't lost. You were positioned. Imagine this: chosen one, someone playing poker with you, laughing, thinking you're an amateur because you've barely spoken. Then you put your cards down and reveal you've been running the table the whole time. That's the moment their soul leaves their body. That's the moment they replay the entire interaction with you from scratch, desperately trying to figure out how they missed all the signs. Because here's the truth. You've always had this depth. You've always had this vision. You've always had this intelligence. You just didn't hand it out like cheap candy. And because you didn't parade it around, people assumed it wasn't there. They assumed you were basic. They assumed you were impressionable. They assumed you were easy to read. And then the mask slipped, and you became the psychological equivalent of a plot twist so devastating that even the villain starts clapping. Let's hit another truth bomb while we're here. People don't expect depth from someone they never bothered to understand. That's why they're shocked. Their ignorance created the illusion. Their laziness built the mask. Their assumptions painted your picture. And now, every time you speak, every move you make, every insight you share is destroying that cheap caricature they made of you. They can't reconcile it. They can't process it. They're staring at you like you hacked reality because nothing they believed about you matches the intelligence they're seeing now. Your intuition exposes lies before they're spoken. Your emotional clarity reads patterns they aren't even conscious of. Your perception sees motives, wounds, shadows, and truths in a single glance. It's eerie to them. It's uncomfortable. It's intimidating. Because you see everything they spent years trying to hide from themselves. And let's address the question that creeps into a chosen one's mind at this point. Why did the universe wait so long to reveal my true side? Because timing is everything. If the mask slipped too early, they'd dismiss you. If it slipped too late, they'd grow bold around you. The universe waited for the moment when your growth collided with their arrogance. So the impact would be maximum. They needed to be unprepared so the humiliation would be complete. They needed to be complacent so the shock hit harder. This is why chosen ones are underestimated early in life. Not because they lack power, but because their power is meant to reveal itself at strategic moments. And the moment your mask slipped was one of those divine ambushes designed to rewrite your entire social ecosystem in one move. You didn't just surprise them, you exposed them. Exposed their blindness, exposed their shallow perception, exposed the way they projected their limits onto you. Now, they don't know how to talk to you. They don't know how to stand near you. They don't know if you've always been this sharp or if you just awakened. They're terrified to test you again because one more slip of your truth might destroy whatever delusion they're still holding on to. Let them panic. Let them scramble. Let them question their own intelligence. Because this is the moment they realize the real threat was never your silence. It was the mind hiding behind it. The moment the mask slipped wasn't a mistake. It was a shock therapy session the universe scheduled for them. It was the day their false narrative about you expired. It was the day your real power introduced itself without asking permission. They didn't just see who you are. They saw who they never had the capacity to understand. Their brain didn't short-circuit because you changed. It short-circuited because the real you walked in, and the version of you they invented died instantly. Number 3, the innocence they mistook for weakness. They thought your softness meant surrender. They never realized it was the silence before the strike. They made the biggest rookie mistake a human can make. They confused purity with weakness. They looked at your gentle tone, your kindness, your empathy, your calm presence, and assumed you were some fragile little soul wandering through life unprotected. They didn't know that innocence in the hands of a chosen one is not fragility. It's precision. It's a weapon sharpened by truth. It's clarity that cuts cleaner than hate ever could. They saw cute energy. But you were walking around with emotional X-ray vision the whole time, reading their intentions before they even formed the words. And the embarrassment they feel now. It's the price of their own miscalculation. You ever notice how people think a clear glass has no depth? That's how they treated you. They thought your purity meant emptiness, when in reality it meant transparency. You didn't need to manipulate, you didn't need to scheme, you didn't need to posture. You could see straight through them, their motives, their ego, their lies, their wounds, their patterns. You saw it all, but chosen ones don't expose people just for entertainment. You let them reveal themselves while you watched quietly, storing every detail the way a lion stores breath before the pounce. And the universe was with you the entire time. It hid your true strength under that innocent glow, so your enemies would underestimate you on purpose. That's divine strategy. If your power showed too early, they would have taken you seriously. Instead, they walked right into the trap of their own arrogance. Now they're replaying every moment where they thought you didn't get it. Every moment they believed they were outsmarting you. Every moment they talked down to you like you were some naive soul. They're realizing you weren't naive. You were merciful. Maybe you're wondering right now, why did the universe make me so soft-hearted? Because softness is strength when it's backed by awareness. Only the strong can stay pure in a corrupt world. Only the powerful can keep empathy in a room full of predators without losing themselves. Only someone with cosmic protection can stay gentle without being destroyed. Your purity was never a flaw. It was the camouflage. They thought they were dealing with someone harmless. But your intuition, it was a surveillance system, your empathy, a lie detector, your calm, a signal that the universe was guiding your every step. They saw innocence. What they missed was the iron spine behind it. Let them choke on the realization. You weren't weak. You were watching. You were learning. You were protected. And now they're standing there, red-faced, embarrassed, whispering, "How did we not see who they really were?" Because the universe didn't want them to. It wanted this exact moment. The moment they realize the soft one was the threat. The chosen one. The one who saw everything and said nothing until the truth exposed them on its own. Their mistake wasn't underestimating your innocence. Their mistake was thinking it made you easy to break. Number 4. The negotiator with a blade behind the smile. You didn't raise your voice, you raised the standard, and that's what terrified them. There's a special kind of power that doesn't need shouting, slamming doors, or dramatic theatrics. It's the power of someone who knows exactly who they are, exactly what they bring, and exactly how to move without losing control. That's you, chosen one. The negotiator with a blade behind the smile. The one who stayed composed while everyone else's emotions were flying around like broken circuits. The one who didn't crumble, didn't lash out, didn't join the chaos. You directed it. And that's the moment people looked at you differently, like you were the one running the room the whole time. People don't expect calm to be dominant. They mistake panic for passion and loud voices for leadership. But when conflict hit, you didn't flinch. You became the anchor while everyone else spiraled. Your maturity didn't just silence the noise, it rearranged the entire energy in the room. Suddenly, the ones who thought they had power started adjusting themselves around you. They tried to keep up with your clarity and failed. They tried to match your reasoning and got exposed. They tried to sway the narrative and watched it collapse under the weight of your precision. Now imagine this, chosen one. Two people screaming in a burning building, convinced yelling will put out the flames. And then someone walks in calmly, opens the right door, shuts the right valve, and neutralizes the fire without breaking a sweat. That's you. Your presence makes chaos look childish. Your clarity makes panic look ridiculous. Your restraint makes their emotional explosions look like tantrums. And you might be wondering, why does my calm intimidate people so much? Because calm is control. Calm means you're analyzing while they're reacting. Calm means you're thinking steps ahead while they're stuck in the moment. Calm means you see through the entire situation, motives, patterns, manipulations, without blinking. They can't manipulate someone who refuses to get emotional. They can't overpower someone who doesn't play the same game. And they definitely can't dominate someone the universe clearly stands behind. Your smile wasn't submission, it was strategy. Your silence wasn't weakness, it was a warning. Your composure wasn't passivity, it was power choosing not to waste itself. People panic when they realize they're arguing with someone who's not even fighting back, but still winning. Someone whose presence alone shifts the hierarchy. Someone who can bridge gaps, but also cut ties cleanly if needed. Someone who can negotiate peace, but also deliver consequences with surgical precision. They didn't understand that your kindness has boundaries sharper than steel. They didn't see that behind your calm was a mind ready to strike with truth that exposes everything they didn't expect that you, the quiet one, the composed one, would become the authority in the room when everything fell apart. But now they know. The negotiator they once underestimated is the one holding the blade, the leverage, the awareness, the universe-backed strength they were never prepared to face. And the best part, you didn't even raise your voice. Number 5, the spiritual voltage. They can't explain. Your intuition didn't just shock them, it exposed how blind they've been their whole lives. They can't explain you, chosen one. They can't decode you, categorize you, or fit you into their tiny logic boxes. You carry a voltage they've never felt before, a kind of inner electricity that doesn't come from books, degrees, or opinions. It comes from awareness, from depth, from the way you can walk into a situation and instantly pick up on truths everyone else is stumbling over. Your intuition hit them harder than their logic ever could, and the impact is still buzzing in their minds like a power surge they weren't prepared for. You read rooms like sheet music. You sense motives before words even leave someone's mouth. You pick up on shifts in tone, hidden fears, quiet lies, unspoken tension, all the things average people overlook because they're too busy judging surface-level illusions. They didn't know that while they were trying to outsmart you with logic, you were playing an entirely different game, perception, and perception beats logic every time. Now imagine this, chosen one, a group of people fumbling around in a dark room, bumping into walls, tripping over obstacles, convinced they understand the layout. Then there's you, walking smoothly, effortlessly, touching nothing, stumbling never. You move like you've memorized a map they don't even know exists. That's spiritual voltage. That's intuitive intelligence. And that's why they feel outclassed standing next to you. And you might be asking yourself, why does my intuition scare people? Because intuition reveals what others are trying to hide. Because intuition sees through facades. Because intuition detects intentions without needing evidence. Because intuition tells the truth while logic is still busy negotiating. Your intuition has humiliated people without you even speaking. They thought they were subtle. They thought they were clever. They thought you were oblivious. But every time they tried something sneaky, you caught the energy instantly. You didn't confront them. You just adjusted, navigated, and moved with quiet precision that unnerves them. People fear what they can't predict, and they definitely can't predict someone who sees in the dark. You navigated situations that would have broken them. You walked through emotional shadowlands without losing yourself. You kept your balance in storms they would have gotten lost in. You exposed without trying how untrained and unprepared they are for anything real. Your presence alone is proof that awareness is a superpower, and the universe has been guiding you this whole time, lighting up the path internally, even when the world was pitch black externally. That's why you knew things without being told. That's why you sensed danger before it arrived. That's why you stayed away from certain people without needing an explanation. That's why your decisions seemed strange to others, but perfect in hindsight. They look at you now and whisper, "How did they know?" They can't admit the truth. You were connected to something deeper, brighter, sharper than anything they've ever experienced. Your intuition didn't just guide you, it protected you. It elevated you. It separated you from the unconscious masses stumbling through their own shadows. Let them be confused. Let them search for explanations they'll never understand. Let them wonder how someone like you can see so clearly when they can barely see themselves. You're not here to match their logic. You're here to rise above it. And they finally see the voltage that was humming inside you the whole time, the power they dismissed, the awareness they underestimated, the instinct that makes you unstoppable. They can't explain you, but they'll never forget you. They didn't push you to your breaking point. They pushed you to your upgrade point. That's the part that eats them alive, chosen one. They genuinely believed you were built like them. Fragile, noisy under pressure, collapsing the moment life stops being convenient. They expected you to fold, to shatter, to disappear into your own shadows the way they would have. But pressure does something different to people like you. Where they crumble, you concentrate. Where they lose themselves, you sharpen. Where they scream, you strategize. They thought the storm would destroy you. The storm ended up becoming your training ground. Because here's the truth they never understood. You don't break. You bend, you adapt, you analyze, you absorb, and then you evolve into something even more unshakable. They kept waiting for your downfall, like it was a show on their pathetic little calendar. Instead, they watched an origin story. They watched a transformation arc. They watched someone they called weak turn into the kind of force that makes the universe rearrange paths. Now imagine this. Chosen one, a glass bottle and a diamond thrown into the same fire. The bottle melts, warps, loses its shape, becomes unrecognizable. The diamond, it gets clearer, stronger, sharper. That's you. They were the bottle. And they resent how obvious that difference became the moment life turned up the heat. And you might be wondering, why did they think I'd break? Because they judged your softness, not your strength. They judged your silence, not your strategy. They judged your kindness, not your capacity for war. They thought pain would shrink you. Pain expanded you. Your resilience isn't normal. It's unsettling. It's the kind of strength that makes people question their entire self-belief systems. While they drown in minor inconveniences, you survive spiritual hurricanes without losing your balance. You didn't just survive pressure. You used pressure as your personal sculptor. They saw doom. You saw data. They saw disaster. You saw direction. They saw an ending. You saw an opening. That's what separates a chosen one from the average soul. You understand that pain is a blueprint. You decode adversity like a scientist studying weapon upgrades. You don't run from hard moments. You interrogate them, extract the lesson, burn the weakness, keep the power. And the universe? It's been backing you the whole time. Every blow you took was aligned. Every shock was intentional. Every fall was a reroute to greatness. While they were pitying you, the universe was training you. While they whispered behind your back, destiny was adding weight to your wings. While they laughed at your struggle, fate was loading you with the kind of strength that terrifies the unprepared. It's funny, isn't it? They thought you were getting weaker. You were actually downloading upgrades so fast that even the cosmos stepped back like, whoa, look at them go. Now they're confused, shaken, embarrassed. They don't understand how someone who was supposed to break came back with clearer eyes, sharper instincts, firmer boundaries, and a spine made of something they've never seen. They don't get how you became more grounded, more disciplined, more dangerous. They don't understand that what looked like your darkest season was actually your metamorphosis. You evolved into someone their imagination never had the processing power to predict. And the best part? You stayed graceful through it all. You didn't brag, you didn't flex, you didn't retaliate. You let your transformation do the talking. That silence hits harder than any revenge ever could. Now they're the ones breaking under pressure. The pressure of realizing they underestimated the wrong person. The pressure of knowing you didn't crack, you crystallized. The pressure of watching you rise while they're still crawling through the same mental loops. Let them choke on their assumptions. Let them replay every moment they mistook your softness for weakness. Let them drown in the regret of ever thinking you were someone easy to break. Because now they know the truth. You're not fragile. You're forged. You're not breakable. You're built. And the universe is still pushing you forward, still stripping off the limits, still sharpening your spirit for the next battlefield. You're not done evolving, not even close. They expected your ending. They witnessed your beginning. And that realization, that's the pressure breaking them now. Number 7, the outsider who turned being overlooked into a weapon. They should have paid attention to the wallflower. That's always the one holding the blueprint to the whole room. You were the outsider, the background character in everyone else's cheap little story. They mistook your silence for irrelevance, your distance for weakness, your invisibility for emptiness. They had no idea you were using that low-exposure positioning as a weapon, watching them, studying patterns, memorizing behaviors, seeing what they couldn't see about themselves. While they lived loud and sloppy, you lived quiet and strategic. And quiet always wins in the end. See, chosen one being overlooked is only painful for people who need attention to feel real. You never needed that. You were the kid who sat at the edge of the room and still knew exactly who was fake, who was insecure, who was plotting, who was desperate to be seen. They thought being ignored meant you had no value, but being ignored gave you something they'll never have: total freedom to grow without their interference. Imagine this: a tiger walking through tall grass. You only see the grass move. You don't see the eyes. You don't see the calculations. You don't see the strategy. But when it finally steps out into the open, the entire jungle freezes. That's what happened when you stepped forward. Suddenly, everyone realized the quiet one had claws sharper than their entire circle combined. And now they're panicking, wondering how they missed it. How did they get so strong? How are they so smart? Where did all this power come from? It came from invisibility, from years of not being watched. While they were busy performing, you were busy becoming. Being overlooked forced you inward, and inward is where all real strength is built. You developed emotional intelligence, intuition, resilience, clarity, independence, tools that thrive in silence, and the universe loved that about you. While others chased attention, you chased mastery. While they needed validation, you needed truth. While they flattened themselves to fit in, you sharpened yourself to stand out. And now that you've stepped into the light, they can't handle it. You're brighter than their expectations can process. You're stronger than their memory of you. You're smarter than their gossip ever allowed them to believe. Their confusion is hilarious. They scroll through old versions of you in their mind, trying to figure out when the upgrade happened. They don't realize the upgrade happened precisely because they ignored you. You weren't the outsider. You were the undercover threat, the anomaly, the glitch in their storyline, the one they should have feared first. Let them stare, let them scramble, let them regret every moment they looked through you instead of at you, because now they know the truth. The person they dismissed is the one who outgrew, outmatched, and out-evolved them entirely. And the universe? It's still lifting you higher. Number 8. The mind that finally stopped playing small. The moment you stopped dimming your mind for them was the moment their entire sense of superiority went up in flames. They never feared your intelligence, chosen one, not because it wasn't there, but because you politely kept it quiet. You played small to make the fragile feel comfortable. You softened your insight so the insecure wouldn't panic. You swallowed truths because you knew their egos couldn't handle the full voltage of your clarity. But something shifted, something snapped, something inside you finally said, enough. And the moment you stopped shrinking your mind, the whole room felt the tremor. Your clarity is lethal now. Your perception slices through illusions like a blade through cheap fabric. You see motives before they're spoken, patterns before they form, outcomes before anyone else realizes there's even a problem. You're not guessing, you're not assuming, you're reading reality like a seasoned strategist who memorized the hidden rules of the game while everyone else was bragging about playing it. And now, imagine this. Chosen one. A chess prodigy pretending to be a beginner so the table of amateurs doesn't freak out. They laugh, they underestimate, they feel bold until the prodigy stops pretending. Suddenly every move the prodigy makes is checkmate energy. That's you. The moment you finally stepped into your full mental range, the entire room realized they were outclassed before the conversation even started. Now look at them scrambling. How did they get so wise? When did they become so sharp? What happened to the nice, soft, quiet version of them? Nothing happened. You just quit minimizing yourself for people operating at half the consciousness. You see through illusions now. You see through manipulation. You see through fake kindness, fake interest, fake confidence. And this terrifies the enemy because illusions were their only power. Your mind doesn't buy masks anymore. It sees straight through to the bone. And the universe is backing this evolution with force. That clarity you feel, cosmic, that intuition, amplified, that decision-making, guided. You're aligned with something bigger, something wiser, something unstoppable. And that alignment is exactly why you dominate rooms without lifting a finger. You don't have to prove anything. Your energy speaks before you do. You walk into a space now and every insecure soul silently panics. Your presence rearranges the hierarchy. Your silence disrupts their confidence. Your clarity exposes their uncertainty. You've become the quiet authority, the one everyone feels but no one can compete with. It's funny, isn't it? The same people who once dismissed you now pause mid-sentence when you walk in. The same ones who talked over you now hang on your words. The same ones who thought they were above you now look at you like you're a mirror reflecting their limitations. And here's the wild part. You're not even trying. You're not performing. You're not forcing dominance. You're simply not playing small anymore. And that alone is enough to shift the entire atmosphere. This is the version of you they never expected to face. The version with boundaries, with discernment, with strategic awareness, with a mind finally unleashed. Let them feel uncomfortable. Let them question everything they assumed. Let them regret underestimating someone who was always 10 steps ahead. You're done shrinking, done softening, done tiptoeing around egos that crumble under the weight of your insight. Your mind is fully online now. Your clarity is your crown. Your presence is your power. And the universe is walking with you, clearing paths they don't even know exist. They're stunned because you're no longer a mystery. You're a phenomenon, a force, a revelation. And rooms don't dominate you anymore. Chosen one, you dominate them. Number 9. The optimist with a world-building mindset. Your optimism wasn't delusion, it was strategy. It was the one thing they couldn't contaminate. They hate this about you, chosen one. They hate that you can walk through storms that would have left them emotionally paralyzed and still talk about building worlds. They hate that you can lose things they worship and still speak like someone who gained something far more valuable. They hate that your hope isn't fragile or naive. It's weaponized, it's crafted, it's earned. They don't understand how a mind like yours exists because they've only seen optimism used as decoration. You use it as architecture. While they define success by status lights and social validation, you measure your life by depth, awareness, and evolution. You're not playing the Matrix's game. You're rewriting the code. You're not chasing shiny distractions. You're developing inner mastery, the kind of mastery that terrifies anyone who's never developed an inner world of their own. They wanted to belittle your positivity, label it childish, or pretend it came from ignorance. But now they're seeing the truth. Your optimism is powered by knowledge, not denial by experience, not fantasy, by alignment, not illusion. Imagine this: 2 people caught in a storm. One screams, panics, curses the sky. The other studies the lightning, memorizes the wind, observes the patterns. The first one fears the storm. The second one learns to navigate it. You were always the second one. Your optimism isn't seeing the bright side, it's seeing the blueprint beneath the chaos. And they don't know what to do with someone who refuses to be broken by circumstances they themselves would never survive. They don't understand how you can talk about purpose when they can barely talk about their day without spiraling. They don't understand how you can rebuild after loss when they crumble over inconvenience. They don't understand how you can stay hopeful without being delusional, driven without being desperate, grounded without being rigid. Your growth mindset exposes them. Your calm exposes their panic. Your vision exposes their limitation. Your resilience exposes their fragility. And the universe keeps rewarding you for it. Every time you choose perspective over pity, awareness over ego, evolution over comfort, the path widens, the light strengthens, the blessings multiply. You're not just surviving life. You're world-building, reinventing, transforming, creating a reality aligned with your soul instead of society's script. Let them be confused. Let them call you unrealistic. Let them misunderstand you entirely. Because the truth is simple. You already see a future they're not evolved enough to imagine. And that's why your optimism scares them more than your strength ever did. Number 10. The glow-up that turned their doubts into respect. Your glow-up didn't just silence their doubts, it slapped their ego so hard they had to respect you just to recover. They never expected this version of you, chosen one. They expected you to stay soft, predictable, emotionally breakable. They thought your healing would be slow, your self-worth would stay shaky, your confidence would stay borrowed. They thought you would always be the version of you they were comfortable dismissing. But your glow-up didn't ask for their permission. It didn't wait for their applause. It erupted, loud enough to rattle the insecurities they tried so hard to hide. You healed in ways that rewired your whole energy. You evolved past every limitation they projected onto you. You grew teeth, not to attack, but to protect the person you became. And now, The very people who once doubted you act strangely respectful around you. It's that awkward, quiet, slightly terrified respect people give someone who walked through fire and came out with a different pair of eyes. They can't deny your growth anymore. The proof is too loud, too real, too undeniable. Imagine this, chosen one. They were staring at the seed while mocking it for not being a tree yet. They didn't know roots were forming underground where they couldn't see. They didn't know storms were shaping you instead of breaking you. They didn't know growth doesn't announce itself. It just arrives transformed. Now your glow-up is blinding. Not just physical, not just emotional, not just mental. It's the whole spectrum. Your energy hits different. Your posture hits different. Your boundaries hit different. Your silence hits different. You no longer radiate, "Please understand me." You radiate, "I understand myself more than enough." And that's where the confusion starts for them. How did they get this strong? When did they become so disciplined? Where did this confidence come from? Was this in them the whole time? Yes, it was. And they missed it because they were too busy underestimating you. Now they're low-key proud because they want to feel connected to your evolution. They're low-key envious because they wish their own glow-up had this level of depth. They're highly confused because it exposes how shallow their judgment was. The universe walked with you through every stage of this transformation. Every moment you were alone, misunderstood, underestimated. That was cosmic training you weren't breaking. You were upgrading. And now the upgrade is loud enough that even the blind can see it. Let them stare. Let them rethink every doubt they ever had. Let them acknowledge that the chosen one they dismissed became the version they now admire in silence. Your glow-up wasn't revenge, it was destiny. And nothing humbles an enemy more than realizing they never stood a chance against your evolution. Sliding out of that last truth, it's pretty obvious now. Every version of you they underestimated became the version that outgrew them. You didn't just evolve, you ascended. And if they're stunned, good. Let them sit with it. You earned every inch of this rise, chosen one. And thank you for riding through this entire message. If this hit your soul even a little, pay the energy forward. Tap like, smash subscribe, drop the number 777 in the comments so I know you're walking this path awake, and share this with another chosen one who needs the reminder. Now, go own your timeline.